The music was loud enough to shake the chandeliers, but not loud enough to hide the sound of his shoe connecting with her ribs. It happened so fast that most people thought it was an accident. A stumble. A careless step. That's what parties are full of, right? Spilled drinks, bruised egos, little mistakes swallowed by laughter. But this wasn't that. This was deliberate. His boot struck her side as she passed him, and she hit the marble floor hard, the breath tearing out of her lungs like it had been ripped by hand. For half a second, there was silence, then laughter. Not everyone laughed, just enough people to make it worse. A sharp, cruel sound that rose above the music. Someone whistled. Someone else said, "Damn," like they were watching a stunt go wrong. The girl lay there, pale against the dark floor, her white dress twisted, wine glass shattered beside her like a small red crime scene spreading under her arm. He stood over her, grinning. Expensive suit. Expensive watch. The kind of confidence that only comes from never being told no. He didn't even look angry. This was entertainment to him. "Watch where you're going," he said loudly, lifting his hands as if he were the victim. "These floors are slippery. Wouldn't want you getting hurt." More laughter. Phones came out. Someone nudged their friend. This was going to be a clip by morning. The girl pushed herself up slowly, her hands shaking just a little. She didn't cry. That seemed to annoy him more than if she had. Her face was calm, almost blank, like she was somewhere else entirely. She brushed a strand of blonde hair out of her eyes and stood, unsteady but upright. "Say sorry," someone whispered from the crowd. It wasn't meant for him. It was meant for her. Like an order. Like advice for survival. "She didn't." He leaned closer, lowering his voice just enough to feel powerful. "You don't belong here," he said. "This isn't some cheap college party. These people matter." She looked at him then. Really looked. Her eyes were light, almost silver in the glow of the chandeliers, and for a moment he felt something. Not fear. Not yet. Just a flicker of discomfort, like a bad memory trying to surface. "I was invited," she said quietly. That set him off. He laughed and took a step back, raising his voice again. "Invited?" He scanned the room theatrically. "By who?" "The bartender?" A few people laughed again, weaker this time. The energy was shifting, but he didn't notice. He never noticed when rooms changed around him. He was used to rooms bending to his will. He lifted his foot and nudged the broken glass with the tip of his shoe, sending it skidding closer to her bare heel. "Careful," he said. "Wouldn't want to bleed on the floor. This place is expensive." That's when the host finally moved. The music didn't stop, but people began to part as a man in his late 50s made his way through the crowd. He wasn't tall, but he walked like someone who had never needed to be. His suit wasn't flashy. No bright colors, no loud patterns. Just clean lines and quiet authority. The bully didn't notice him at first. The man stopped a few steps behind the girl. "Is there a problem here?" he asked. His voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. It cut through the room like a blade through silk. The bully turned, annoyed, already preparing his smile. "Nah, no problem," he said. "Just a little accident." She fell. The man's eyes moved from the bully's face to the girl's bruised side, to the wine soaking into her dress, to the way she was holding herself just a little too stiffly. "Did you fall?" the man asked her. She shook her head once. "No, sir." Something in the room shifted again. He felt it this time. The bully's smile tightened. The man nodded slowly, then looked back at him. "Then why is she on the floor?" The bully shrugged. "Like I said, accidents happen." The man stepped closer. Close enough now that the bully could see his eyes clearly. Calm. Focused. The eyes of someone who made decisions that affected millions of lives. "Accidents," the man repeated. "Funny thing about accidents. They usually don't come with laughter." The room was quiet now. Even the music felt distant. The bully swallowed. "Look, man, I don't know who you are, but that's my daughter." The words landed heavy. Not shouted. Not dramatic. Just stated. Like a fact carved into stone. For a heartbeat, no one moved, then the realization spread like electricity. Whispers exploded. Phones dropped. Someone gasped. Someone else said his name out loud, like a prayer or a curse. The governor. Standing right there. In the middle of the party, the bully's face drained of color so fast it was almost impressive. That's not funny, he stammered. You're joking. The governor didn't blink. Do I look like I'm joking? The bully took a step back. His heel slipped slightly on the marble, and he flailed, catching himself on a nearby table. Glasses rattled. A few tipped over. I didn't know, he said quickly. If I'd known, that changes nothing, the governor said. You kicked her. I didn't, it was, you kicked her, the governor repeated, sharper now. In front of witnesses. In a room full of cameras. The bully opened his mouth, then closed it. His breathing was shallow. His body betrayed him before his mind could catch up. A dark stain spread down the front of his expensive pants, soaking into the fabric, dripping onto the floor. Someone laughed. A short, shocked sound. Then another. The smell hit a second later. The bully looked down, horror replacing arrogance. His knees shook. He tried to step back again, slipped for real this time, and landed hard on his backside, right in the mess he'd made. The room erupted, not the cruel laughter from before. This was something else. Loud. Uncontrolled. The kind of laughter that comes from watching power collapse in real time. The governor didn't smile. He took off his jacket and draped it gently over his daughter's shoulders. Are you hurt? He asked softly. She shook her head again. I'm okay. He nodded, then straightened and turned back to the man on the floor. Security, he said. Two men were already moving. As they hauled the bully up, he started talking fast, words tripping over each other. Apologies. Excuses. Family names dropped like lifelines. None of it mattered. The governor watched him go, his expression unreadable. As the doors closed behind the spectacle, the party didn't resume. No one knew how to. People stood in small clusters, whispering, replaying the moment in their heads, realizing how close they'd come to laughing at the wrong side of history. The girl took a slow breath. You didn't have to come, she said quietly. The governor looked at her. I always come, he said. You just don't always see me. She smiled faintly, and somewhere, far from the chandeliers and the cameras, a man who thought power meant cruelty learned how quickly it could vanish, leaving nothing behind but shame, silence, and a stain that would never quite wash out.